this is Manin Rabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Coca-Cola. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Naka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Pearl Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FPC News. Tonight, Marist and Jasper clinched 2016 Coca-Cola Games title. Commercial banks admit to incorrect deductions. And more than 8,000 Fijians apply for New Zealand residency. Well, Marist Brothers High School and Jasper Williams High School have won the boys and girls titles respectively in the 2016 Coca-Cola Games. Marist Brothers topped the boys division with 17 gold, 7 silver and 10 bronze medals ahead of Natambua High School and Ratukandavu Levu School respectively.
Our preparations was done equally for all our athletes. So with those performances, I think we got a handful of personal best performances that is not highlighted on the track. It came from the field as well.
It was a close call in the girls division with last year's champions Jasper Williams High School just managing to defend their title. Jasper won 15 gold, 19 silver and 7 bronze medals, edging out ACS which won 15 gold, 8 silver and 6 bronze medals. Suva Grammar School finished in third with 4 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze medals.
We faced many challenges, the TC Winston and Zina, the sickness that's been going on for 1 week, but that doesn't dampen our spirit.
Thousands have been affected by incorrect deductions of resident interest withholding tax by all 6 commercial banks in Fiji. The Consumer Council of Fiji says the banks have admitted to deducting 20% interest tax instead of 10%. Kelly Vadala has the details.
The Bank of the South Pacific, Westpac Fiji, Bank of Baroda, Home Finance Company, Bread Bank and the ANZ have been found charging incorrect tax on interest earned.
Now this is definitely a major concern for the Council. As you know, in the last budget, the resident interest withholding tax was reduced from 20% to 10% for 2016, and we expected all financial institutions to deduct only 10% from the interest earned by consumers who kept their money in the bank. All 6 banks have admitted the error, but none of them have come up openly to apologize to the consumers for this big blunder.
The Council says the banks must be taken to task for failing to comply with the law.
The bigger problem now is that some of the banks are saying that consumers have to get the reimbursement from FERCA. But the question here is, if the banks have made the mistake, then consumers should get the reimbursement from the banks. In the last budget, not only the announcement was made on resident interest withholding tax, but also VAT reduction. And what have we seen? When the traders don't comply with VAT reduction, they are fined. Now, when banks don't comply with the resident interest withholding tax, who's going to fine the banks?
The Council is urging all consumers to have a good look at their bank statements, particularly if they've had term deposit or any amount which was interest generating, to see whether the tax was correctly deducted or not. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The MV Ului Nambukilevu is drifting between Benga and Kandavu waters after it encountered engine problems when it left Suva at 6 p.m. yesterday bound for Kandavu. Police spokesperson Inspector Josiah Waidavu says the boat is carrying more than 60 passengers on board. He says the Fiji Navy and boat management have arranged for another boat to tug the drifting boat back to Suva today. All passengers on board are safe. More than 1,700 applications for the Pacific Access category were received from Fiji when the entries closed today. The New Zealand High Commission says a huge interest has been seen from Fijians looking to gain opportunity to live in New Zealand. Sharon Shivan reports.
250 Fijians will soon be awarded long-term residency in New Zealand.
Many people who do gain access under the category go into sort of unskilled or semi-skilled jobs, and that can often be a stepping stone up to a different kind of work as well.
Mark Ramsden says 228 applicants from last year's ballot have already been awarded residence in New Zealand.
Once all the applications are registered and are taken into the system, there is then a ballot, a lottery if you like, and people are advised whether they've been successful or not after that. And then once those who have been successful are advised, then they have to start the process of trying to find a job and get all those other things worked.
Many Fijians who were awarded permanent residence faced a few challenges in finding employment opportunities in previous years. However, Ramsden says this will not be the case this year.
In the past, there had been a bit of a mismatch of people being successful in the lottery but not managing to get a job offer. So Immigration New Zealand have actually stepped up their support to try and match up employers with prospective employees to help people, capitalise on the opportunity that the Pacific Access category represents.
Successful applicants will be contacted by the New Zealand government when the ballot draw for the New Zealand Pacific Access category is held later in the year. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
A second tour of Australia to meet with the Fijian community that may have negatively influenced other Fijians employed in the seasonal workers program is now being considered. Employment Minister Semi Korela-Visau says the initial assessment has found exploitation allegations were fabricated and it was outside influences that led to the Australian media reports.
I have to go back to government and ask the Prime Minister if I can go back to Melbourne and talk to the community leaders in Melbourne. That depends on funding and all that, especially during this time.
In February 13, Fijians claimed they were being paid around $16 a fortnight after deductions. Their story was covered on ABC as part of an article on the exploitation of Pacific workers in the Australian Seasonal Workers Program. Well, still to come on FPC News, Agriculture Ministry steps up tests on cattle. And LTA Fiji to learn more from LTA Singapore. Stay with us.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Livestock and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music.
Welcome back here with FPC News. The Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation calls upon staff to show compassion and be more understanding to cyclone-affected Fijians who will need assistance in rebuilding their homes. This was highlighted by Minister Rosie Akbar during a workshop to prepare her workers in the implementation of the Help a Home initiative next month. Farzana Nisha has more.
A large number of people are still traumatized by the devastation caused by Cyclone Winston, which can lead to many emotional behaviors. Rosie Akbar says empathy needs to be shown to these victims.
If I may remind you, when we had the mock presentation with the Prime Minister 2 days ago, he did mention, he said to me, Minister, your staff need a lot of patience. We will come up with cases where people are frustrated. Please understand their frustrations because of what they have gone through. And I urge you to use that compassion.
Akbar says that although they have a tough task at hand, the entire nation will be depending on them to return lives to normalcy.
Please remember, like I said, the entire nation is looking up to you. There are families who have lost their loved ones. There are families who still have their loved ones suffering from the injuries, physical injuries, traumatic injuries, and like I said, it's going to take a long time for us to help those who have been affected. And whatever you do, the way you serve these people while we are trying to implement this initiative is very important.
Akbar says Fijians affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston are very vulnerable and need to be served with sincerity and honesty. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
The Agriculture Ministry has stepped up testing on cattle for infectious diseases after Tropical Cyclone Winston. Director Animal Health and Production, Tomasi Tuinambuna, says at the height of the cyclone, many animals weren't properly secured and have ended up in so-called clean farms. Savara Tambua tells us more.
Livestock officers are out in full force in the Central Division, especially in Etasir and Televu North, testing for brucellosis and tuberculosis. Director Animal Health and Production, Tomasi Tuinambuna, says infected animals may have crossed into other farms in the days following TC Winston.
If we look at fences that were damaged, those that were probably washed away during the floods, there is always a risk where animal can trespass and enter other clean properties, and this could be the sources of the spread of the disease.
Tuinambuna adds that it's critical to track down any and isolate all infected cattle to protect consumers. More than 1,000 cattle have been infected so far after being diagnosed with tuberculosis. Tuinambuna is pleading for public support to eradicate the two diseases.
There is restriction to movement of livestock because of these diseases, and we request the general public to participate and assist us in this program. So if only we can get the support from general public, it will probably be difficult to eradicate both TB and bruce.
Infected livestock can easily spread brucellosis and TB if not properly contained, and the Agriculture Ministry says farmers must be alert at all times. The ministry aims to eradicate bovine TB and brucellosis by the end of the year. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
The developers of Yandua Bay Resort Melanesian Properties Limited has sealed a deal with the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation to take on the first phase of its $10 million hotel construction. Yandua Bay Resort Villas and Spa is an integrated tourism project which will offer a fully fledged hotel and a mix of individually owned villas on 80 separate titles. The property is spread over 27 acres, offering breathtaking panoramic view of Yandua Bay.
This resort will manage all the villas that will be built there. So our initial investment on this one is close to 10. What we're doing is we're putting accommodation, normal hotel units, spa, swimming pool, restaurant, bar, all the other services, normal hotel resort services. And then we will do some condominium type of accommodation next door, on lots next door to allow for family accommodation, upmarket.
Khan says their next project is to build a hotel in Nosori before the end of the year. The Land Transport Authority of Fiji hopes to use the expertise of counterparts in Singapore to improve the transport system here. The LTA Fiji has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with LTA Singapore. Seniani Boila reports.
Land Transport Authority Board Chair Vijay Maharaj expects to use Singapore's transport system as a benchmark.
What they have agreed to do is to share information as to how they do. I mean, we have seen a number of things. They have agreed to give us a lot of things that we want so that we can improve our transport system. And we might even get some experts from Singapore to come and help us set a few things.
The MOU includes joint programs to manage licensing of public service vehicle drivers and regulation and enforcement of vehicle loadings. Singapore will also help with road safety management, traffic management, and promoting public transport services. Maharaj says LTA Fiji will learn a lot from LTA Singapore, which has one of the finest transport systems in the world.
And what Singapore has done, I mean, a lot of people who have retired from the industry, transport industry, are still being retained by the department because they've got a lot of experience. And those are the people who are quite willing to come and assist us because they've got a lot of time.
LTA Singapore has semi-nationalized its public transport system. And while that may not be an option for Fiji, there are some lessons in terms of managing buses and taxis on the roads. Sainia Nimbuela, FBC News.
Stay with us as we will bring you more action from this year's Coca-Cola Games in sports.
Bula FM and number 2 na siya. Bula na viti, nada ko plasyo matairi, ngon may na bulo tabiuni, au sa tungo nandi, ando talita ina warongo na Bula FM. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
Welcome to FPC Sports. Queen Victoria School's Ilaitia Wangai Randovu backed up his win in the Senior Boys Blue Ribbon event last night by claiming another gold medal in the Senior Boys 200 meters final this afternoon.
This time it's a better start here. Albert Miller on the outside closes in. So does Ilaitia Wangai Randovu as they take to the bend. Albert Miller will take the bend into the 100, but a nice run by Ilaitia. A lovely run by Ilaitia from Queen Victoria School. Ilaitia races away. He takes the gap to 10 meters away. Ilaitia Wangai Randovu, he's got the 100 and the 200.
Alaiwalu Rayau of ACS won the gold medal in the senior girls 200 meters final ahead of Vani Litutawake of Ra High School and Jasper Williams Taraivin Indere respectively.
Out they come and they explode out there. So we have Taraivin Indere leading them through from Jasper Williams High School right on lane 8. They bring them across. Alaiwalu Rayau showing the class she has. She's burning the tracks and Alaiwalu leaves everybody behind. Almost a 10-meter gap between her and Jasper. Out it comes. Kasanita B of Nambua trying very hard, but it's Rayawa from ACS who are going to claim a very easy victory and an additional goal to ACS.
Mara stamped its dominance in the competition with a spectacular win in the senior boys 4x100 meters relay final.
They're up and they're off and going, and there's a good start on the outside by Cathedral Secondary School, but Morris Brothers, but Natambua closing in on Morris Brothers on the outside and then to the back straight, and there's a change onto the back straight there, and a baton fall again by Natambua, but racing away is Morris Brothers. Albert Miller on the outside, Cathedral Secondary School. Morris Brothers with a change there from Albert Miller to Kenneth Hughes. Hughes takes the bend, Cathedral on the outside, but it is Morris Brothers that will lead them into the straight here, and then comes to the last runner for Morris Brothers, Abarama Bakanideva. Bakanideva racing away for the Morris Brothers on the outside. Ratu Nabula chasing for it, close by is Gospel High, but it'll be Morris Brothers with another goal.
It was a neck-to-neck race in the girls' division between ACS and Jasper Williams High School, but the girls from Sawani got the better of the defending champions in the senior girls 4x100 meters relay.
Up they go and out they come, and nice Soro Tambo in lane 4 doing a very good job there, closing up on Jasper William High School. Very slow off the block. We'll wait for the Baron change right on the far end, and it's not a good one for Jasper, but ACS walks out really well. Jasper and ACS, but up front is Basildon College. It's ACS who has put a neck up front, and ACS will come around with their first Baron change. Not a good one, but they have enough space to go through. Jasper has to settle for the second place as they come through the bend. It's Jasper William High School coming in second, and ACS working really hard there for ACS is Clara Rendola, and out it comes. Clara Rendola has given it to Elena, and Elena strides off. Jasper trying very hard there in the form of Cesenia Lindonu, but Cesenia Lindonu has to settle for silver now. It's another goal to ACS.
Just like in the 4x100 meters relay, ACS managed to pip Jasper Williams and the 4x400 meters senior girls relay. The Sawani girls did not relent their pressure on Jasper and managed to draw level with the defending champions in the medal count with 15 gold apiece, resulting in the girls' title going down to the silver medal count. RKS took out the senior boys 4x400 meters relay final, edging out the stiff challenge from Natambua High School to win the gold. And Meki Maria scooped the first gold medal of the day for Valentine Memorial School in the 3,000 meters girls final, beating highly favoured Meriseni Nendao of Jasper Williams High School.
Becky Maria is trying to keep that pace. She looks over her shoulder. There comes the Maricin Nendao. Nendao looks like she's given up. This gold medal definitely is going to Becky Maria from Ballantyne Memorial School. It will be very, very interesting. She's given up Maricin Nendao first, and gold to Becky Maria from Ballantyne Memorial.
Amavasi Turner of Ratu Lucas Secondary School and Sairusi Kaloniviti of Selevu Secondary put in a determined finish, but the former took out the gold medal in the 3,000 meters boys final.
Turner coming on. Can he take over Sairusi Kaloniviti? The struggle is real on the tracks right now. It's going to be a goal to Amivasu Turner from Ratu Luke Memorial School. Hands in the air. He knows he's got it. Amivasu Turner takes the goal.
And the Lone Skipper Cup match this weekend, Premier Division newcomers Malolo stunned Madhuwata with a 20-7 victory at Subrel Park in Lambasa this afternoon. Now this is Malolo's first match in top flight provincial rugby, and at halftime Malolo led Madhuwata 14-0. Fine weather was experienced over the country today. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over Tuvalu. Meanwhile, a broad easterly wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Lambasa was the hottest today on 32 degrees, while other centres were in their lower 30s. Suva and Savu were the coolest on 29 degrees. As for tomorrow, fine apart from brief showers in the morning and cloudy periods in the afternoon in all centres. We take a look at Monday. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, moderate southeast swells are expected. Recapping the top stories, Marist and Jasper win 2016 Coca-Cola Games title. Commercial banks admit to incorrect deductions, and more than 1,000 Fijians apply for New Zealand residency. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. On to the poll question. And this week we are asking, are developed countries doing enough to fight climate change? To answer, visit our FBC website. Well, you can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us those news tips at FBC News, or simply hashtag FBC News. Remember, if you're in the capital and don't have anything to do this evening, you can come down and join your FBC team at the Today FM Park Jam that gets underway from 7 p.m. this evening at the Suva foreshore. You've been watching FBC News. Good night.
आपको खरगंगा की रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाटोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी, हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब होता हूँ कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।